Okay, so with the Sixth Invitational 2025 rapidly approaching, that means the last chance qualifiers are coming up quickly. And that means as soon as 4 hours as of recording this, actually, the first qualifying matches start as part of the regional LCQs. Uh, so this is the one that I was talking about first. It starts in around 4 hours. These first matches here, these semifinals matches, those matches start in around 4 hours as of recording this. So this is the APAC LCQ finals. The teams are Cyclops, Furex, Chiefs, and Direwolves. And one of these four teams will be qualifying to the Sixth Invitational, with the rest being eliminated entirely. And continuing forward as well, all the brackets I believe do feature a double elimination. So even if your team like loses a game, one match, they are still in, which is good. I like double elimination. Now this is also tomorrow, later in the day. We have the South America LCQ finals. We have Raza Company, which is literally the ex E1 roster. Black Dragons, who are my personal favorite team to win this LCQ. Then we have Vivo Keystars, who are also another strong contender from Brazil, I think, to take this. And then we have Vasco, who are the best team from Argentina, that qualified through the closed qualifiers. So that is also tomorrow. Now for EMEA closed qualifiers. So for Europe and NA, um, we still have closed qualifiers and the qualifier finals. So the closed qualifiers for EU are also starting tomorrow, um, and it features the newly picked up ITB roster. I just It's funny. I literally just mentioned ITB leaving the scene in my video from just the other day, because in the statement that they posted, it very much sounded like they may come back to the scene, but it may be a while. So I didn't expect them to be back this quickly, but they picked up a. I'll get into it more into the roster change video, the pre SI roster change video that I'm gonna do um, there, but they picked up a full uh, British roster. So yeah, and then we have G2, of course, who have made no changes, though I do believe that cameraman is now with them as a assistant coach, which is interesting. And we have Geeke, the top seeded team from MENA, and we have Fnatic, who qualified through open quals, and we have ex ITB Academy, who also came through open quals. Then we have Rock, who are the other highest placing MENA team in the global standings, outside of Geeke, so that's how they are here. Mako qualified through open quals, and then this team's name, it's Hungary and Pack Bull, and then some other T2 German players. I'm just calling them Hungary plus Pack Bull and Co, because those are players people may be familiar with on the team, but their actual team name is literally Asparagus. So yeah. So this is the bracket for the close quals. It's a pretty big bracket. Again, it's double elimination. Um, so again, if your team loses, they have two opportunities. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I'm especially excited to watch the new Into the Breach roster now, because they just made that announcement today. So I think it could be um, very good, but it also could be very bad. So yeah. And this is the bracket for the EU LCQ, or the EMEA LCQ finals, that take place the following weekend, I believe, on January 11th and 12th. Um, of course, the teams that qualify to this will be the top four teams from the close quals, which will be the four teams that make it into the upper bracket final and the lower bracket final. All the grand final here, all that's for in this close quals is for seeding um, for this bracket. So yeah, and we'll have a very similar format in NA as well, where there are four teams that made it through global standings, which are Cruelty, Oxygen, Wildcard, and Sintanagra, and then four teams that made it through the open qualifiers. Loyalty is scarce. A little bit about them. It's Mr. B's new team. If anybody's familiar with him, he used to be pro with Beast Coast for 1 year until that was actually the year before this year, I believe, with when Beast Coast won the major. He was on Beast Coast before 2024. So, but it never really worked out there. But originally, um, he was known for being a pretty good IGL and making deep runs in T2 tournaments and even and that's how he got into Pro League. Before was he qualified to Pro League by playing very well in T2. Um, so he picked up a new roster, and I definitely think this is a roster you don't want to underestimate because they look all right in what is it, Element 4. So definitely a roster you can't like completely sleep on, especially for if you're like Oxygen or Wildcard. Um, the team that is dubbing themselves Washington Wizards is just kind of a mix of a bunch of players from older NA T1 and T2 teams kind of mixed together. I know Twists is there, who had a brief stint on Luminosity. Inrio is there, who played a long time with was it Aerial Rise? I don't know who's that. Candles on this team, I think. Um, and then so on, and then Core Gaming is what is it? Oh, actually no. Core Gaming might be the Inrio team. I think Washington Wizards are the remains of Challenger League for Life. It's one of those. It's either or, yeah. And then Friendship Team is the ex Luminosity roster, except Woos, who got dropped at the end of last season. They picked up Nick in his place, who was another longtime NAT2 player. And then Woos went back to his play with Bino and they're basically the last two remnants of Challenger League for Life. So yeah. And then again, just like EMEA, it's the exact same bracket for the close quals. So we'll see four teams qualify to the LCQ finals, and then the team that wins here in the grand final will go to Invite, just like in the Europe. So yeah, lots of Siege the next two coming up weekends. So if you're excited, I would definitely look out, because all these matches are going to be played tomorrow. All these matches you see, all four of these games, and I believe some of the lower bracket games too, but we don't know those matches yet. All those games, all of these matches, I believe these EU, are around like 7 a.m. East. For the first games, like I believe, particularly the G2 game. I actually think that could be a pretty competitive game to them playing Mako. I think Mako are a solid roster, definitely not a pushover. Yeah, and then we'll know two of our SI teams by the end of this weekend because um, APAC and South America are already in their LCQ finals, while EU and NA, of course, still have close qualifiers to get through first. But yeah, lots of Siege coming up these next 2 weekends. So yeah, I am pretty excited for this. I can't wait to see who makes it and who doesn't, because it's likely who doesn't will likely make changes as well. So, and changes are roster changes are always an interesting topic, and that'll probably be, as I said earlier, the what I'll be talking about in one of my upcoming videos, because I want to do roster changes, and then I want to do one about the kind of the how the league formats is changing for 2025. Though I don't know if I'll do it before SI or after SI for that one, because I think they'll announce more stuff at SI. Um, so I might just sit on that one for a bit, similar to the affiliate program one too. But I did want to put that one out. I felt like there was enough information for me to talk about that one. There is enough information about the leagues too, the new leagues changes. But if they announce more, then I could just include them all in one instead of making two separate ones talking about like the same thing. So yeah, uh, next next videos should be roster changes, and then maybe I'll do. Oh yeah, not maybe. I'll do a video when we have all our teams um, qualified for Six Invitational. We're doing a preview video for Six Invitational, and then of course when Six Invitational gets there, that's when we'll probably a video every day basically, because it's going to be predictions, predictions, predictions. I love doing predictions, even if nobody cares about them. I like it. It's fun. It's fun for me. So yeah. Anyways, have a good one.